Premiership Rugby round number 3 is done and dusted. It's already a Tuesday here, but I'm looking back at the games from the week just gone. I've seen 3. I watched Bristol Bath, I watched Leicester Saracens, and I watched SALvEXE and Exeter. The other 3 I've gone and seen the highlights, so I'll go through the games quickly, some of my impressions, and you guys can let me know your thoughts as well. Certainly a few losing bonus points, and certainly a few games which kind of had controversy or kind of late deciding moments in the games. Teams kind of on the brink and able to bring it back. But yeah, either way, you guys will have to let me know your thoughts, especially on the games that I didn't see in full. For the first one, which was Bristol and Bath, both sides, they were pretty desperate, right? Both sides went into this one, none from 2, 3? None from 2. And this is the third round. Too much rugby on. And now Bath's none from 3 after dropping this one. But Bristol and Bath both desperately needed a win. I guess Bristol slightly more so being at home. But they did get the win. They certainly were made to work for it. Both sides kind of struggled. Like Ewells bombed a pretty easy try for Bath. Bristol's line-out was pretty atrocious and let Bath off the hook multiple times. If they'd been able to convert some of those attacking line-outs into points, they probably would have done it a bit easier. But that being said, some of Bath's backs, man, absolutely kind of phenomenal. That guy, Jomo, really looks the business. I've only seen him kind of in a few weeks, but it's been a great introduction into his game for myself. It was Muir who got 2 for Bath and Rokoduguni who got 1, so it was the backs getting the tries for Bristol. It was the forwards with Lewitua Kerr plus a penalty try, so a bit of a contrast in styles, I guess, but both like kind of equally easy on the eye at times. I mean, especially the Bath tries, to be fair. The second one for Muir was magic, man. Bailey with the chip, and then Jomo gathers it in the hands to get it to Muir was the stuff dreams are made of in terms of rugby viewing. But Bath at one point end up double yellow carded. And I think during the yellow card time, first yellow card, they get the penalty try, which leads to the second yellow card, and then that leads to the maul try for Kerr. So discipline. Probably the big downfall of Bath in that game. I reckon you'd say the penalty count finishes 17-8, which is pretty brutal. The Bristol forwards were really good. Bath's scrum struggled. I mean, Luatua's try also was a pretty beautiful one for a loose forward to really carry as far as he did. So Ajomo finished with 62 run meters, 2 clean breaks. Luatua had 57 run meters. Jake Kerr had 62 run meters. So yeah, the forwards for Bristol were really trucking it up pretty nicely. But it was a good game. I mean, Bristol had to come back from behind, which was kind of what you want to see. Yeah, I mean, in terms of a neutral viewing, it's best when you see one team kind of get in front, the other team have to fight back and chase the lead, or if it goes kind of tit for tat, rather than just one team running away with the results. So no, it was a pretty good watch. So Bath are now none from 3. They're in 13th, unsurprisingly. Although Bristol, despite that win, are only in 12th, one from 3. So not the start of the season either of them would have wanted, but we're only 3 games in, so there's still plenty of time for things to go. The next one, as I find where I'm at, was Northampton and London Irish. Now this is one of those ones that went down to kind of the end of the game seemingly. This is another one that I didn't see live, and fortunately I didn't see the full game. I only saw the highlights, but fortunately I may have seen the result, but I forgot it because it's now Tuesday when I've just gone to watch the highlights. And what a crazy end to the game. I mean, it was wet. It seemed to be a lot of the games this weekend in Europe seemed to have pretty kind of bad weather. But there was some poor handling from what I could see. It was a little bit ugly early. There were some handbags. These teams, I don't know if these guys have got traditional rivalry or if they're just kind of fired up, but they certainly didn't like each other. There was multiple times handbags in this game, and it's the handbags that kind of cost London Irish in the end, you'd have to say. But I mean, it was all Northampton early. They were going at a point per minute for like the first, 15, 17 minutes? I swear it was like 17-0 after about 17 minutes. Maybe it was even 16 minutes. But yeah, that was all Northampton. But they didn't score a heck of a lot of points after that. And London Irish, through their forwards, seemingly really seemed to come into the game. I mean, they got tries through Crevy, and then a penalty try. Northampton had double yellow cards as well. There were certainly a lot of cards this weekend. It was like proper game on when London Irish actually went in front with kind of not that long to go. They got one through Parton as well on 66. That was the one I think that put them in front, right? And then Northampton kind of had to find an answer. That had tries to Collins and to Proctor, but yeah, it was the handbags. It was Tuisui, right? Just putting his head, like head on head, like the stupid stuff these guys do. I mean, heat of the moment, you can kind of, at least no one was throwing punches, but it's a penalty. And that allows, it's a soft one, but that allows Northampton to sneak ahead. So a crazy end to the game just by grabbing someone and really putting your head into his face, making that forehead on forehead contact from Tuisui is enough to blow the game. What can I say, man? It's about as dumb a way as you can lose a game as possible after kind of a huge fight back. But it happened. Interestingly, like I would have thought on paper, Northampton's going to be the team that light things up, right? Because everyone's kind of told me they're the team that likes to chuck it around. But like run meter is 314 to 167 in favour of London Irish. They had 61% possession. Penalty count was horrendously high, 16 to 17, with London Irish having one more. But man, that's a lot of penalties. So I'm guessing the game lacked a little bit of flow. All the Northampton Lucies seemed to go through quite a few tackles, which is good to see for them. Parton, along with his try, kind of seemed to be cutting it up with the most run meters of the game, 75 and 4 defenders beaten. But yeah, what a disappointing one for London Irish. They're still chasing their first win. They are 11th at the moment. So they've had a draw and 2 losses, which is not ideal, whereas Northampton are 3-0, and they've got Wasps next week away. So they're second, 3 from 3. It's not a bad start to the season for Northampton for sure. London Irish are at home to Leicester. And Leicester at the moment seem like a pretty tough team to beat. I did watch Leicester's game against Saracens. It was a tough watch at times, I'll say that, but it's one of those ones, kind of like that one that goes down to the wire. This one goes down to the wire as well, and it's one of those last play of the game things that ends up getting the result for the Tigers, man. I mean, to be honest, again, it was wet. I think one of the coaches described the ball as being like a bar of soap on the ground, which was probably pretty fair. But Leicester were guilty of giving away penalties early, man. There was one for Salmaki not releasing the ball. No, it was at a double movement on the ground. And then there was a scrum penalty they conceded. So they were kind of gifting early threes to the Saracens guys, which you don't want to be doing. Saracens loose head prop, Adams Hale. He went off with an arm injury, and there was a weird, unfortunate moment where his replacement, Maui, gave him a tap as you do, you know. Often the guys, as one's going off, one's coming on, you give him a wee tap. He tapped him on his arm, which he has just injured, and the grimace on his face made you shake your head. That was a bizarre moment. But yeah, in the first half, Farrell kicks 3 from 4, so it's 9-0. Leicester can't really catch a trick. They're losing lineouts in Saracens' half. They're giving away breakdown turnovers. There's a maul turnover. But, I mean, right before halftime, it's another one of those dumb ones, and in the scheme of this game, it's pretty costly, where Maui, the same guy who tapped his colleague on the arm, when they've just gotten a maul turnover, he pushes, I think it's Dan Cole, while he's on the ground, like unnecessarily, as they're celebrating the maul turnover. So the referee, instead of giving the scrum to Saracens, gives the penalty to Leicester. It's another one that's so soft, but so dumb and unnecessary. So, yeah, Leicester kicked that one, so at least they get 3 points on the board come half-time. And to be fair, I mean, the commentary team said it as well. They're probably lucky to have only a 6-point deficit at half-time. There looked to be the first try of the game on 69 minutes, which is quite some way into the game, when Van Portfleet was the guy who gathered a chip, but they said no, he was offside. Mallins will be happy because he looked a bit clumsy as he kind of clattered into the padding of the posts. But again, it was wet, so you can't really blame them too much for looking clumsy. But the last few minutes did pick up the intensity, to be fair. Saracens were chasing it down the left. What was it? Oh no, Leicester was chasing it down the left, and then as Alan Davis went to drive one of the Leicester players into touch, he kind of did a no arms jobby, didn't he? And it's another one that's like, man, that's instead of being game over, Leicester's in touch. It's a Leicester penalty, and sure enough, Leicester maul it. They get collapsed by Saracens. Billy V gets yellow carded, and it's a penalty try. Penalty try means no conversion necessary. Leicester are in front. Like, what a crazy, crazy game. Saracens will be pretty... They'll be spewing about the result, but yeah, honestly, I think that dumb penalty at the end of the first half, if you're looking at any fingers to be pointing at, that's the one you look to. But like I said, the game wasn't an easy watch. Kicks from hand was 39-43, which is a lot. But again, the conditions maybe meant they wanted to play without ball in hand. Leicester had 25 out of 26 lineouts. Ezekiel, I think, disrupted a few, but he only managed to pinch one. But man, that was, 9 from 14 for Saracens is not a great return in terms of lineouts. Penalties conceded as 20 by Saracens, 16 by Leicester, so also pretty high. Dolly makes 9 from 10 tackles. As I mentioned, Ezekiel was always a threat at the lineup, but yeah. So that means, man, Leicester are 3 from 3, top of the log. Happy days. Saracens, having had the bye, have only played 2, and they are 1-1. So, yeah, Saracens are at home to Newcastle, and Leicester are away to London Irish next game. So, yeah, good times. The next one, Newcastle and Wasps. Another one that kind of goes down pretty late, doesn't it? I mean, if there's nothing else, like, you can take a game which is low scoring, as long as it's kind of dramatic at the end. That adds a bit of value to it. And this game seems to be one of those. Again, I didn't watch this one in full. I watched the highlights. For me, it was great to see Carl Fearns smash over on the 3rd minute, because I didn't know much about that guy at all until I did a video about his career, because he was nominated for World Player of the Year, Junior Player of the Year, a long time ago. I wanted to kind of see how he'd progressed from that youth ranks to his senior career. Good to see him still in action. He got a seemingly pretty typical Carl Fearns try on 3 minutes. Wasps had the next 2, but not until the second half. Cruz and Willis, the 2 Toms, got tries which looked to have secured the game for Wasps, but Newcastle got a wonder try at the death through Chick, and that guy finishes with some crazy numbers. And Newcastle did it seemingly all with a guy in the bin for like, was it since like the 55th minute? I didn't see that. They wouldn't show what happened, but they said something about a finger in the eye. I know Wasps did have a yellow card as well, so at one point it was kind of 14 on 14. But man, Newcastle did it the hard way, but they did it at home. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy one seemingly. It was good to see Gopeth getting into a maul for Tom Cruise's try as well. So along with Carl Fearns, it was certainly entertaining in terms of those kind of moments. But yeah, the crazy try at the end was, I mean, Radwan couldn't get away from his tacklers, but the Wasps guys just seemed to be kind of slightly dead on their feet as the Newcastle guys had that bit of desperation to get their guys over the line and find the space, and they did it despite being the man down. So crazy finish. Chick finishes with 105 run meters, 1 clean break, and 2 defenders beaten. He gets double the run meters of Radwan, to put that in the context. So there you go. Hislop has 13 out of 14 tackles. Second half territory, Wasps have 74%. That's in Newcastle's 26, but they still can't convert. So yeah, good win for Newcastle. They're 2-1, 4th spot, not bad at all. Wasps are 1-1. Remember, they've had the bye. They had that massive win last week, and they're kind of back down to earth this week. So they're at home to Northampton next week, or this week, and they're in 7th. Newcastle are away to Saracens, which will be a pretty tricky one based on what we've seen, but like I said, they're doing not too bad, so they'll certainly give it a good crack. The next one, which was another one I didn't see, Worcester and Gloucester. The first half seemed to be all penalties, basically, from what I've seen. Basically, the commentator said it's going to be the battle of the kickers, and he was right to a degree. It went 3-0 to Gloucester, 6-0, 6-3, 9-3, 12-3 by halftime. Second half, 12-6, and then 12-9. So Worcester kind of coming back into it. But the game did seem to crack open towards kind of the final quarter. Worcester had a yellow card. Gloucester had a big old maul that cracked things open. So Morgan got one. Woodward finished off a pretty slick back move. Adam Hastings was kind of running the show. And Harris got one at the end, which was a bit of a salt in the wound one for Worcester. They did have tries through Hatherell and Vailanu as well. The last one was kind of a consolation one at the death. But they also had a red card when Ted Hill put in a bit of a tip tackle. They did show that one, interestingly. So it was kind of an awkward one where the guy had his boot up. But yeah, it's a tip tackle. So, like I said, got himself into a bit of trouble. Right as kind of Worcester seemingly were fighting a bit back. So that kind of put them on the back foot a bit. But yeah, they didn't stop fighting. They did get a consolation try. It's not enough to get them a losing bonus point. It's not them enough. They didn't get near 4 tries. So nothing out of that home one for Worcester, which is unfortunate for them. But Gloucester finally get their account underway after 2 opening losses. So good for them, I guess, to kind of bounce back. Like I said, Hastings, from what limited amount I saw, seemed to be pretty good. Good to see Johnny May in action as well. And setting up a try assist for Jason Woodward. So happy days. Interestingly, run meters are pretty even, 242 to 214. Gloucester seemed to love a maul. They had 13, which is a huge number of mauls in the game. But they had to kind of win this game seemingly on the back of their defence with 156 tackles to Worcester's 80. So, yeah, despite the weather though, both lineouts seem to be operating pretty well. They both operate like 11 from 12 for Worcester, 14 from Gloucester. That's pretty pleasing. Other games this week where the weather was bad, the ball was kind of going all over the shop. So kind of credit to the teams for that. Gloucester are home to Sale next week. And Worcester's job is a tough one because they are away to Exeter. And Exeter finally picked up a win. I just saw that game today. I watched it. It was the last game of the week, so it was the Sunday game. So I watched it. It was a Tuesday here, so a little bit belated, but better late than never. Maybe it's a good one that I watched in full because I got to see Whitty's try in all its glory. It's not often you see a lock do a charge down and then 2 football kicks forward and then a regather. It's the stuff of legend. If your mate told you that at the pub, you would never believe that try was possible or happened. But we've got video evidence that one happened. So it was a bit of a wonder try. Sale had tries through Harrison and Ashman. It was 2 for Slade along with Whitty's 1 for Exeter. So it's a good away win from them. Both these sides don't seem to like each other too much either. There was handbags. End of the game finished in handbags as well. I guess the Sale guys pretty upset to be dropping one at home. Another game with a red card. Janssen van Rensburg got red carded for this one for a high kind of tackle. It was shoulder to the jaw, according to the TMO. It was one of those ones that's borderline, but you've certainly seen tackles like that red carded before, and it's kind of brutal for Sale because it was not long after Janssen van Rensburg got red carded that Slade ended up going for, I think it was his second try. So yeah, the Sale forwards were fronting up really early. They actually went out to a 10-0 lead, if you can believe that. But Exeter did push their way back into the game. A lot of carries. I thought Sale's defence was pretty good. Hogg had a big old 50-22 at one point, which was pleasing to see because he's one of the guys when they first introduced the 50-22 said he's going to punish teams with this new law. And he did get one, but they immediately mucked up the line-out, which was a bit unfortunate. But it didn't matter because they ended that first half finding some space to get Slade's first try. You know, after being 10-0 down, it was kind of, I guess, credit to Exeter's work rate. When, again, the Sale guys were looking a bit tired, as the commentators mentioned. They found some space. O'Flaherty finally got into some space, got it to Hogg, got it to Slade. So, yeah, 10 apiece at halftime. Sale had one chalked off in the second half as well. And it was not long after we had the Janssen van Rensburg red card where it started to go a bit wrong, didn't it, with the next try. Whitty's try, like I mentioned already, was bonkers. Ashman's dive in the corner, though, to be fair, if you're talking about forwards scoring good tries, Ashman's one was pretty good. He must have been a winger in another life. But, yeah, Solomona at fullback was interesting. He had 81 run meters and 3 defenders beaten. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes he gets at fullback this season. But, I mean, both sides' tackling rates were not that great. There was a bit of offensive action this one. A few defenders beaten, which was pleasing to see. Slade was right up there, man. 3 clean breaks, 74 run meters, 5 defenders beaten, having a pretty good shift. But yeah, Sale is 6th. The 1 win, the 1 draw, and the 1 loss. So they'll be looking to kind of bounce back. Away to Gloucester next week, and Exeter, like I mentioned, are home to Worcester. They are 1 and 2. They are in 10th. So they'll need to kind of get cracking as well. But it's been pleasing to see all the British and Irish Lions guys back, certainly making some welcome returns. We haven't seen them all back yet. They'll kind of be eased into the season as the season goes on. I guess kind of depending on how many Lions games they played, right? So yeah, but no, it's a good week. Like, there's not really any huge blowouts, right? Like last week we had the Wasps win over Bristol, but all these games, like losing bonus point, losing bonus point, losing bonus point, losing bonus point, less than 10 points and 10 points. So yeah, it's been pretty pleasing to see. The weather probably did play a bit of a part. Like the try scoring rate, I would say, was a bit down. We saw, a handful of penalty tries, a handful of red cards. So maybe partly that was the conditions being more conducive to kind of higher penalty counts and lower try rates. But anyway, it's been pretty entertaining. You guys let me know your thoughts. You reckon Bath are going to bounce back, because they are the only side, along with London Irish, to get wins yet, although at least London Irish have had a draw. Saracens, Exeter, Bristol, Sale, all these sides who were predicted to kind of be the top 4 have all started with kind of mixed openings to the season. Exeter and Bristol finally picking up wins. Sale handed their first loss, but it's all about Exeter, Leicester and Northampton. 3 from 3. Can they keep it up, or do you think they are going to get run down as the season goes by? Anyway, I am enjoying it, guys. Sorry these videos are on a Tuesday, but the USA and Canada match didn't help the schedule for the weekend. So a lot of rugby on, but definitely a bit of fun. You guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.